everyone, so it's Christy from Green-Eyed Tarot, and I'm here to film the first in a series of videos that I am calling Crapulent Cartomancy. Yes, you've heard that right, Crapulent Cartomancy. For those of you not familiar with the word, crapulent is an synonym for tipsy or having to do with excessive alcohol or overindulging in food or drink specifically. So in this series, I will be popping on and having a little drink and sharing what I'm drinking and the tarot cards that I have been using over the last few weeks, maybe new tarot decks that I just got or old decks that I'm getting reacquainted with, but basically just a ramble about tarot cards. So I'm going to share what I'm drinking right now. So for this video, I am drinking Positively Chardonnay, Sunny with a Chance of Flowers. This is a reduced calorie wine. Right now I'm still counting my calories. And so I've been going for 0 sugar wines, and this one is 85 calories and 0 sugar. And it's a lovely Chardonnay, Sunny with a Chance of Flowers. So that's what we're drinking today. I'm going to have a sip. And now I'm going to get into the tarot decks I've been using. So I have some new decks that I actually just got in my collection. The first one is the Spiral Tarot. I got this on Amazon. I've had my eye on it for a little while. It's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I've only really looked through it. I've gone through each card. So these are the backs. Spiral Tarot. And again, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. We're gonna see how we get along, but it is very esoteric. There's a lot of symbols in the cards. So there's elemental symbols, there's astrological symbols, planetary symbols. There's a lot going on. So there's definitely a lot to unpack in these cards. But I do like a lot of the imagery. I have to say I was a little disappointed at the size, and this is my fault. Especially on Amazon, I'm pretty sure the dimensions of the cards are on there. So probably should pay attention a little bit more, since card size is a big deal for me a lot of times. I do like standard tarot size or a little bit bigger. I'm not really a fan of poker size, bridge size decks. You know, for my tarot cards, if I wanted that, I would just get a deck of playing cards. So that's not great. I do love this image, Strength. I love this. This is one of the selling images for me that sold me on this deck. Also too, the creator of the deck says that it's dedicated to her Celtic grandmother, who used to read playing cards, which is great. And that she sort of is using Celtic symbolism and imagery. And some of it I'm having a hard time with in terms of adding, you know, so much of the esoteric symbols that come from a lot of different systems, not necessarily Celtic, you know, mythology or wisdom. So I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. So the major arcana of this deck feels totally different than the minor arcana. So the majors do have sort of that Celtic somewhat feel, but I don't know. Let me get to some of the minors. This Judgment card, that. It does have a Celtic feel to it, but the minors literally have a totally different feel. And if anyone else has this deck and wants to comment and tell me I'm crazy, or you can agree with me, but some of it feels like this looks like an impressionist painting, which is totally different than the vibe I get from the majors. Almost a different time period. So here's a court card, right? That's pretty traditional, very sort of medieval looking. And then you have like something like this. He's like, looks like he's from like the roaring 20s. So, and look, this guy looks Amish. Like he looks like an Amish farmer. So I'm having like a little bit of trouble kind of it meshing for me. Look, and here's a jockey, like a random, I don't know, a random jockey. I'm not really sure, like, I don't know, aesthetically, here's like Jane Austen. Like, and I don't know if I'm in my own head about this, and it's very possible that I'm sort of putting my own spin on this where it doesn't need to be, but I think there's a little bit of a disconnect. Like, look, it's like Druidcraft Tarot, and then all of a sudden I'm in this era. So there's a little bit of a disconnect for me. The artwork's it's very lovely, but it's a little all over the place maybe. Maybe that's like what I'm trying to say. So I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to get on with this deck. If it's gonna stay, it may end up in a future declutter video. We'll have to see, but I'm gonna like give it a shot. But those were like my initial impressions. Like I was a little disappointed with the size. It's like a lot smaller than a standard tarot deck. It's like a weird size, like an in-between size. So we'll see. I'm gonna kind of give it a go and see how it goes, and we'll go from there. Okay, gonna take a sip. Crapulence, remember? I just love that word. So the next tarot deck that I like just got probably about a week ago is the Black Violet Tarot, the Cherry Blossom Edition. Now this one, I kind of knew I was gonna love before I even had it. I did an unboxing video, like a first impressions. Here's the guidebook. Look at the inside of the box. Can we just talk about, I love when like the inside of boxes like have a little treat on the inside. It's fun. This is by Heidi Phelps. So her original Black Violet Tarot was in like a black and white. It was just basically black and white. And so this one has like pops of this cherry blossom color, which I just realized my nails are like approaching that. And I'm not really like a pink person. I've said this before. Pink is like not my thing. I don't wear pink. It's not the color that I'm typically drawn to, like really in any sense. But I really, like when I saw this deck, I was like, yes, cherry blossom. Like the pops of this color, and it's like so hard to see on camera. Actually in this light it's actually pretty accurate, like that color. It's like a blush pink color, so not so much cherry blossom, but like it's just, yeah, I'm feeling the vibe in this deck. In the unboxing I talked about it. It's giving me witchy vibes. I'm definitely getting the witchy feels from this. Look at this Emperor card. So it's a very, female centric, deck. And the creator, kind of like what I love about it is the creator, she created this deck while losing her mother to cancer, and while she became a mother herself. So it's like very poignant. I mean, I feel like that's, it's almost like a bittersweet. So there is a sadness to this deck, and I feel like I can feel that coming through. There's a little bit of a sadness, but there's also a sweetness to this. And I feel like this Cherry Blossom Edition with this sort of blush pink color kind of softens it up a little bit. Now, I never had the original edition death card, like pretty much my favorite death card. One of my favorite cards in the deck. Also the devil in this card is like, if that's not Maleficent, I don't know what is. Look at that. So I think the pink color softens this deck a little. It softens that grief. Like I feel grief coming through in this deck. And I feel like this is going to be like one of those decks that's going to work in a lot of different capacities for me. And just like for shadow work and grief work and dealing with guilt, you know, these complex emotions that we all go through in life. Oh, the Six of Wands. So like the artwork is very simple, but I feel like it's powerful. And I love, like I said this in my unboxing, I don't know, the figures are like so like tall and like lanky and like, I don't know, they just have this like very gothic Victorian vibe, like without being like the Dark Mansion Tarot. You know, it's not meant to be like, I don't think, Victorian in any way, but it's giving me kind of like those vibes. So I do love this. I'm super excited to work with this. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to including this in my tarot practice and kind of just see how it goes, getting to know this. The cardstock is really nice. It's like a matte, you know, cardstock. It's pretty much traditional standard tarot size. It's really lovely. It's a lovely deck. It's very nicely produced. And I'm really looking forward to this one. This one feels like me. It definitely has like me energy. So yeah, if this was a hashtag classic decks video, this would be a classic Christy deck. Okay, sip. So the next one I got recently, which was sort of an impulse buy at Barnes & Noble, my local Barnes & Noble, which, let me say, Barnes & Noble has been kicking ass with their tarot and oracle section and their pagan section. Like, it's grown exponentially over the last several years. But yeah, they've been really like stepping it up, and they have a lot of really cool decks in stock. So this is standard Lewellyn, you know, with the gigantic guidebook with the beautiful full color images, just really nicely produced, you know, kind of like what we've come to expect from these Lewellyn like box sets. So it's got a really nice book. The great thing about this so far, which I haven't gotten that deep into it, I've read pretty much all the major arcana entries in the guidebook and some of the minor. The writing is really nice. Like it's very like, the writing is great. Like, and it has some really like beautiful sayings and like writing. Also, another thing, as someone who like likes words, obviously my obsession with the word crapulent is evident, but as someone who like likes to learn new words, there's a lot of new words in here. Like, I don't know if any of you have watched Kelly at The Truth in Story. Her walkthrough of this is like really great, and it's like fun when she comes upon these words and she's like, I don't know what this means, and then you have to look it up. I kind of love that because I'm a word nerd. So that's been pretty cool about this. So yeah, so the guidebook is really cool. It's standard Lewellyn cardstock, which I really don't mind. I actually pretty much like it. It's so easy to shuffle, and I don't know, it feels durable. It's pretty much, I do like this cardstock a lot. That's the backs. The backs are like pretty awesome. And I mean, it's a dragon deck, so it's a lot of dragons. But I kind of like the way they're done, and I like how the guidebook, like the guidebook tells you like what part of the world, like what mythology. So if it's like from like an Asian perspective, or it's from like an Asian country or culture or mythology, it'll tell you. Or if it's more of like the Emperor is like amazing. Look at the Emperor card. Glare. That's that shiny Lewellyn cardstock, but yeah, so it'll tell you if it's like a woodland dragon or like an earth dragon. It's pretty cool. Like, so yeah, so so far it's like, I'm liking it, you know. I don't have like a particular affinity for dragons. It's not like I don't think I have any other dragon decks in my tarot or oracle library. I don't think I have any. So this is definitely a first for me. I like the hang dragon. I like the cats are all like tigers or like cheetahs, which I kind of think is cool. That's cool. That's giving me is it Maleficent? Like Sleeping Beauty, right? There's a dragon in Sleeping Beauty. That's giving me Sleeping Beauty dragon vibes. So yeah, so it's, you know, so far it's pretty nice. The dragons, you know, it's not, to me, it's not like too like Disney, like where like the dragons are like not fierce, you know, or not seen as like these fearsome creatures because they're dragons. So they can't, you know, all be like sweet. There's some sweet ones, like look at the sun. There's like babies. There's like baby dragons, you know. They can't, you know, not every card, but like there are like fierce and dangerous looking. Like this is like the universe, and this is like, reminds me of Smaug, the Hobbit. Remember when he opens his eyes at like the end? I think that's like the first Hobbit film where he like just, his eye pops open and like, yeah, there it is, Smaug. So, you know, it's pretty cool. You know, I've never had a dragon deck, so that's probably, you know, why I kind of was like, hey, on a whim, bought it. It, you know, it's Lewellyn, so I knew it was gonna have like this very pretty guidebook, which doesn't really matter, but so far, like I said, the guidebook has, I'm gonna do, I think, a full walkthrough because there's really some like really like good nuggets from this guidebook. Like it's written really well. I really like the language and how it's written. So yeah, so I'm like looking forward to getting to know this a little bit more. And that's really it for like newer tarot decks that I've gotten recently. I haven't really gotten any new oracle decks. As far as like what I've been using like every day of my life, which is like really no surprise, is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. I use this every day. I use this every week in the morning messages from the Fae. This is one of my favorite decks of all time. It speaks to me on a level that no other decks do. Julia Jeffrey, her artwork is just, it's just amazing. And to me, this, you know, has that sort of raw, like Fae energy, you know, not so much fairy, but more like Fae, you know, the creatures living in the liminal space, the other, you know, the underworld, the other world, you know, the spaces that we can't see. This deck really is sort of speaks to me in that way. And it's, I think it's the intimacy in this deck, you know, is one of the things I love so much about it. I know the faces, you know, it's very close up, the close up. I know everyone kind of talks about that. And, you know, it's true. It's definitely like, it's not your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. It doesn't have a scene. And trust me, I love a good scene. I love the narrative. I talked about that, like the narrative that a fully illustrated scene in a Rider-Waite-Smith deck is very important. And I love it in a deck. It's why I don't read pip decks. I'm not drawn to them. I need that scene. I need to be able to build the narrative. And this deck, you know, is not that, but I absolutely adore it. I think it's because it's so up close and personal, and because the artist had to use facial expressions and body language, and like here, you know, just the facial expressions, and like I said, the body language, like is essential to being able to kind of figure out what am I looking at, you know, and kind of it helps you make up the narrative. You know, it makes you use your intuition and use your creativity and your imagination to come up with, like this is one of my favorite cards in the deck, the Six of Cups. And this is a card, I mean, we usually see like kids like frolicking and playing, and it's that card of nostalgia, but this is like the card of memory, and it's deeper than just thinking about the past. It's reflecting on the past. So this deck just makes you dig deep, and I just love it. I love it for that, and for the Fae energy, but I do love the way it makes you, and I cannot say enough about this. I can't say enough about how much I love it. I'm sure, like, if any of you have seen any of my videos, you're probably sick of hearing about it, and I just love it. So I'm never gonna stop talking about it. I'm never gonna stop, you know, coming up with new ways to use it, new things, new feelings I'm getting like as I'm using it. It's definitely like so unique in any of the decks that I have, and it's just such a treasure to me, you know, on a daily basis. And for those weekly morning messages from the Fae, it's just been amazing. Like the readings have been amazing. So yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna have another sip. That Chardonnay. It's almost time to make dinner, so I have to go, but I'll see you in the next video. Crapulent Cartomancy, and I hope you all have a beautiful week ahead. Tomorrow's Monday, so I hope everyone starts their week off great, and I hope that you have a wonderful week of tarot exploration and just having tarot be a part of your life, because it can be such a great addition to your life. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.